Smash Factor.
Ripping driver, going for it. Oh my goodness. How about that tee shot?
That is crazy how far that is.
Wow. John Daly, take a back seat, big fella. How about that drive?
That's an aggressive line. That is beyond long.
Look at this, he's just driven the green. He has just driven the green.
I guess hello world, huh?
Welcome everybody to the Smash Factor Week 24 on the 2022-2023 PGA Tour season. The RBC Heritage, normally kind of a letdown week after the Masters, first major, all that kind of stuff. But we get an elevated event for the first time here, making it a jam-packed field. A few withdrawals, gets in a little bit, but for the most part, all the top players in the world here. A little later this week than usual. My real day job's been crazy busy, so apologize for that. I'm going to get straight to all the stuff so we're not wasting time already with this coming out later Tuesday this week. Last week, man, it was a great Masters. It was fun. It was frustrating on many levels. Betting was all right. I broke even. We chopped the Brooks first round leader, went 4-3-1 on the matchups, lost on the outrights, but all in all, I think it washed almost even. But it always sucks when we have the carryover of rounds because you lose the ability on the daily matchups and prize picks stuff. It's not that they're not there; it's just they come out so quick and there's so little time to get it all out. When we cross over nights on the rounds, but it is what it is. It was a long Masters. Sunday was not good at all. Even with, my big three that hurt me, Rory obviously missing the cut. Willie Z didn't even tee up, which was brutal. JT, and I kind of talked about last week. I never play this guy, never play him. Go to play him, he misses a cut. And him and Rory both missed a cut. They had a chance to both make it coming down the back nine. JT was more of a shocker. Rory kind of fought back to -3, then missed that little tiny one on 16, and I knew right then it was probably over. The frustrating part was some of the good stuff. It was way overweight on Brooks, way overweight on Spieth, which Spieth was popular. Way overweight on Cam Young. Trying to think who else in the top 10 there, but I had said last week I was only going to do 2 of 3 for the most part on kind of my main build stuff between Rahm, Scheffler, and Rory. Unfortunately, I went Scheffler and Rory. With Scheffler, he got 10th or tied 10, T10, I think. Not a big deal. Pretty good, solid, but doesn't beat when you fade Rahm plus played Rory, Willie, JT. It just turns into a horrible week, even though I think I had like 80-something, which again, it's a Masters. 80-something% of my players made the cut. But when those big boys miss, and then Willie, that really hurt because, a lot of nice 5 or 6s that had him in it. When he gets 0, so it's even worse than missing the cut, and you're going to have a higher 6-6 week. It's hard to come back from. It is what it is. Willie is out for the season. We saw that yesterday. Rory is out this week, and Jason Day is not here. I think that's it of kind of the big up top that I can think of. I guess be interesting to kind of see how that comes about. I know we've already seen stuff about Rory. You're supposed to only miss 2, and it's not that you can't miss more. I just think you kind of get a reduction there. Spieth's come out and talked about his exhaustion. He's the defending champ here, so I'm sure that's not making it any easier. I'm sure he would prefer not to be having this elevator after the majors, and there's another one, after the U.S. Open. So definitely, I think that's one of the big things they want to push for is having a little more flexibility there, especially after a major week. I can see where some of the guys get, because we kind of feel like it. I'm sure a lot of the guys in the content industry at times, because you just put so much into it and it's nonstop, especially like last week, is having to update stuff late and early, you know, as these guys are on the course, especially the cut, you know, cut sweat type stuff. So a lot of work to be done into it. And not that you want to down week. Next week's kind of is the down week, right? The Zurich. I do think they do DraftKings, if I remember right, and they just price the partners the same price, and you pick one of them. Doesn't really matter which one. But that's so much, you know, there's not a lot of deep dive and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty much kind of recent form, who's playing well, who's played well together in those events, things like that. But we'll get on to this week. If you'd like to join the site right now, Smash gets you 20% off any package, includes a 7-day risk-free trial. You can come check out anything you want. Go weekly, you can upgrade later. Go monthly, you can upgrade annual. You still get to 20% off for life. You can get in full site, full access, the new golf dashboards, the green machine lineup optimizer, all that. You can get in for I think it's $15 a week, $8 a week if you just want the content, and it goes up from there. Rate and review us. I'll be doing the giveaways for the new signups and all that, which goes through today. So if you sign up today, you're still included. So I guess, you go ahead and if you sign up today, because I do have it set to end at midnight, use Masters, you actually get 30% off, and you'll be in the drawing, and I'll be giving away those, next week's pods for the all the new signups from March 1st on, giving away a ticket for the PGA Championship. We'll see what the contests look like, but it'll be one of the higher dollar tickets, GC prize pack, stuff like that. Rate and review us on iTunes. Always goes a long way for us. Subscribe and to YouTube. Like this video in the comment section. Tell me who you want to play in the 10K range this week. Very loaded range. Interested to see how people go through all that. I think a lot of it will end up being spread out as far as ownership, and we come down more to who do you want to play, who do you think will have a good week coming out the Masters, things like that. Listener League link is in the description. Last week's winner, Westy 132. I'm fairly certain if he hasn't won this year, and I know he won last year for sure. So congrats on that. He had Scheffler, Spieth, Young, Reed, Gooch, and Hughes. So he gets it done without even having Rahm. Solid lineup there. I will send him the invite today as well. Harbortown is where we're at this week. Par 71, 7,100, 4 par 3s, 3 par 5s. Biggest deal here is a lot of club down spots. You want to be on the right side of the fairways. Kenny Kim will have his full breakdown now on the site. Already has it on the site, but you can go check out this pod as well with Tambo. Second shot course for sure for the most part, but you still got to be in the right places off the tee. Smaller greens, overseed kind of still this time of year. Around the green will be important. Remember, if you're doing some course history look and all that, 2020, remember it was easier scoring. I can't remember if that was because it was soft or what, but it was 2 months later because of COVID. I think this is one of the first ones when we come back for COVID, because it was in June of that year. So if you want to X that one out of your research, you can certainly do that. Weather this week, Thursday looks pretty windy, but it's pretty consistent right now. So no big effect there. Chance of rain Friday, kind of off and on all day. We'll just have to wait till tomorrow, get closer. Right now, I don't see much that would say this clear edge or that clear edge. It'll probably be even, +1, something like that. More loaded field. So you would think the scores would be a little bit better than on average. So you could see a -1, somewhere in there, +1 to -1, is what I think. Winner, still think you're going to be around that 13, 14 under type under. Prior winners here, Spieth, like I mentioned earlier, Stewart Cink. He had 19 under, but he won by 4 strokes. So again, kind of lapped the field there. The 2020 year, like I said, was a lot different setup. Webb shot 22 under. And then before that, it was 12 under, 13 under, 9 under. You have CT Pan, Kadira, Wesley Bryan, Jim Furyk, Kuchar, some runner-ups, Kisner, Webb, Luke Donald, Knox, Kuchar, Cantley last year to Spieth. So don't definitely have to be powerful or anything like that off the tee. I mean, it takes a complete game this week and a good putter, I think, in general. Doesn't mean they have to be great coming in putting, just get hot putting can also get it done. Stats I'm looking at this week: good drives, stroke gain irons, good approach, opportunities inside 18 feet, par 4 DK scoring, and birdie or better. Let me get this back up. About, I think 31 guys is what I counted that have not played this since 2017. Decent chunk. I think we're going to have 144 this week. Salary ranges 10K, 5, 9K, 5, 8K, 9, 7K, 44, 6K, 78. So a little bit spread out up top. They seem to haven't really, zoned in on one particular format when it comes to 8, 9, and 10s. We've seen some weeks, and you have similar fields where it's been 3. You had them last week priced up a little bit. Now you get 5 up there, 2 at 11 and 11, 1. So interesting on some of that, and 5 and 5 between the 9K and 10K plus. I don't think we've seen that in a little while, but I wouldn't say soft pricing or anything like that. I think it's the pricing will, to me, spread out the ownership fairly decently. There'll be a couple popular, but I don't think anything crazy. Probably more popular will be some of the cheaper deals up top. Some of these guys you can make a case for, and outside of 2020, which was the COVID year and almost everybody played it, a lot of these top end guys just hadn't played it in it because it's been after the Masters, for the most part. And, a lot of those guys take off or they have their schedule planned for that. So, there are a lot of them, or they've only played it once, so not a ton to kind of see how those guys are going to play here outside of like a Cantley's done well, Hill Spieth's done well here. Of course, Sweet 16 for me, normal format, 3 that I like and a bubble boy in each salary range. I give you my fade of the week, sleeper of the week, gut feel plays of the week, betting top 5 that pop in 2 long shots provided by Underdog and Price Picks. And then we want my preliminary one and done, and we'll wrap it up and get out of here. Up top, I like Homa, which we know I don't normally go there per se, but he did play here 2020. That was the only year he has. In general, sometimes if I don't even know if the 2020 year really gets it. If someone played like 2018 or 2017 once and never came back, it makes me think a little bit. Rory, that's one reason he even, I think, said in his quote, I think he went up to Harbour Town and started doing some practice rounds on the weekend and then decided he didn't want to play it. So, some people just don't like it. And then other than that, I think it has to do with scheduling, maybe not so much the course, but when you have this kind of pot, most of these guys are going to go play in it, right? So, in general, he profiles well for me. 3rd overall, 4th in stats, 5th in recent form. The 1 week he was here was great. Tee to green, putting was a little below average. He made the cut, 41st, nothing crazy. Last week I'm not going to hold that against him too much. He, wasn't high on my list. I didn't play him. He made the cut though, but only finished 43rd. 3rd in irons, 5th in par 4 DK scoring, 7th in birdie or better. A 6th at TPC before that. I do like looking at the guys that took off Valspar and Valero. So they got 2 full weeks off before going to the Masters. Not that I factored that a lot, but, just to kind of see how many of those guys have had a decent break before the Masters instead of ones that played. I think kind of like Spieth mentioned. He played, Valspar is one of the he didn't play Valero this year, but he played TPC, Valspar, and then the Masters. I think he's only had 2 weeks off in the last 10. So the fatigue part is something to think about. But overall, Homa, I like him this week. I think he could do well here. Cam Young, of course, beyond him. I guess a little worried about ownership, just with Paul Sartorius on the bag, Webb's old caddy and their history here, and he did well at the Masters. I had plenty of him, but he was up the board, down the board, up the board, finished 7th. Had all the chances he could have been right there as well. 3rd here last year, so I could see a little bit of ownership going his way. But there's a lot of these guys up here that I think will be somewhat popular that. I don't think it'll get too outrageous. I think it'll come down to kind of who you want to play this week. 5th in good drives, 13th in opportunities inside 18 feet, 13th in par 4 DK, 4th in birdie or better, coming in 31st in the recent form in general. And then, like I said, a 3rd here last year. I mean, everything about it I like. So unless something happened where he was super chalky, then maybe I would think otherwise. But other than that, I'm just going to play him. Another guy I'm not really on a lot, but I like Morikawa. 3 straight made cuts here. 2020, he only finished 64th, but then a 7th and a 26th, 10th at the Masters again, 13th at TPC. I mean, this course should suit him well. He's got great iron play, probably the best or at least top 3 out there. stroke gain irons, which brings you around the green into it. 6th there, 13th in birdie or better, 18th in DK. He's kind of priced in that, 10K. He's the cheapest in the 10K, but do I want to drop down and just go to the 9K? Be interesting to see that. I obviously wouldn't play a chalky Morikawa because you still got to rely on the putter. But again, I just don't see that being the case this week. My bubble boy is Cantley. He's strictly on ownership. It'll be interesting to see him as well because of so much negative about his slow play. But his last 5 trips here, he's got a 3rd, a 7th, a 3rd, a 2nd with 1 missed cut in 2021. So hard to argue. And he had it right there with the chance to win it until, he didn't have a good Sunday round. Couldn't make a putt, save his life. And I played him a lot in Showdown round 4, so that was not good. 1st in par 4 DK scoring, 1st in birdie or better, 2nd in good drive, 7th in opportunities inside 18 feet. Just profiles there, looks great. Only reason why he's a bubble boy is, does everyone want to go there? And he's not even the highest price, right? Because you got Scheffler and Rahm. So it'll be interesting to see, does he stay chalky or just kind of around that 18 to 20%? And then if you get 4 or 5 of these guys that are around that 17 or 16 to 20%, 21%, which we've seen a few times here, in some of these elevated events in the major, but it really just comes down to, making the right call. Last week, I chose not Rahm. That wasn't the right call, but it could go your way, couldn't. But there's not a big ownership leverage on some of these guys up here. Really, not yet. There hadn't been. I mean, Rahm was the lowest of the 3, so you could have argued that, but it wasn't by much. So I think that's how it'll be this week. We'll see. Cantley could get a little steam. 8K range, I like Hatton. Never pay attention to his Masters results, even though he still did all right. He finished 34th. He's made the cut 4 out of 5 years here. A 39th, 29th, 26th, and a 3rd back in 2020 when it was actually the higher scoring week. So that's kind of positive for him. 8th in good drive, 7th in par 4 DK scoring, 19th in birdie or better, 18th in the putting model. Should do well here, and I think that's a good price. $8,200. I'll go to Hatton. Sung Jae, I'll go right back to him. Did play him last week. Faded Connors. That was another good thing about the Masters. 0 Connors anywhere, and he missed the cut. So I thought, a lot of good things, but man, horrible week overall. My worst Masters by far. Missed his first 2 cuts here. Sung Jae did. And then back-to-back top 21s. He got a 13th and a 21st. I like seeing that. I like that he's come back here too. Miscut, whatever reason. He's obviously played the Masters, but then a 13th and a 21st. So I do like that. A 6th at TPC, a 16th last week. I like him a lot this week. $8,600. Fleetwood, go back to him. Played him the last few weeks. He's done well. 3 straight top 30s or 33. 27th at TPC, 3rd at Valspar, 33 last week at the Masters. He's got a 10th here and a 25th here with a miscut in 2021. Not going to hold that against him. 31st in stats, $8,100 just seems like a good price for him because I think he has the upside. Did last year, got a top 10, and I think he has that well. And I think he's probably playing a little better than even he did last year coming into here. So I'll go back to some Fleetwood. And then my bubble boy is Lowry, strictly because I think he'll be, all 3 of my bubble boys are potential ownership stuff. I think he could be really high owned. I saw some stuff. I'm way behind on research as far as listening to stuff. I really hadn't listened to any, but Twitter stuff, scrolling a lot, some bets on Lowry that made me think he could be a popular pick this week. Rightfully so. He's got a 44th, a miscut, and then a 3rd, 9th, 3rd. So miscut was in 2020. So 3 top 10s in the last 4 years. Looks well, played decent last week, 16th, 35th at TPC. I can see why he's popular. So, course fit, he's 5th in the deal. And again, $8,300. Only reason why I wouldn't play him is that, which chalk do I want to, avoid and get off of this week. And that's why he's a bubble boy. 7K range for me. I like Chris Kirk. Up and down history here, miscut 55th, miscut 7th, miscut. I think he's playing some of his best golf in quite some time and consistently. 10th at the Valero, 23rd at the Masters in that format and that kind of conditions you wouldn't think would set up real well, but he still hung in there, top 25. He's 26th or better in 5 of the 6 key stats for me this week. 25th in putting. Again, I like the upside. Yeah, he's got some miscuts here, but he's also got top 10 and top, made the cut, 55th, stuff like that. So and a lot of those years were, I think, a different Chris Kirk. So I'll go to him at $7,500. Fowler, I'll go back to him. I know we wanted to see him get into the Masters, but he's still going to be motivated to try to make some stuff at the end of the year. Couldn't count him out of the Ryder Cup even. Coming in with a 13th and a 10th his last 2 tournaments. He hasn't made the cut here since 2017. That's probably one negative, miscut. But certainly got to think he's in much better form than he has been in quite some time. So at $7,600, I don't mind going there. Cam Davis, definitely keep riding him now that he's, I guess, healthy from whatever we had going on. And I think in general models, he'll still pop down some because of those bad weeks where we didn't realize whatever he was dealing with. I don't think they ever really said that price. He's got 2 trips here with a 25th and a 3rd. So he likes something about the course, a 6th at TPC. He did miss the cut at Valero. So overall, I think he likes it at $7,100 for a guy that's top 25 and a 3rd here. I'll definitely play some Davis this week. Bubble Boy is Kuchar. Same deal. I think could be very highly owned, maybe one of the highest at this price with his history here. Where did he go in my model? So, there he is. Sorry about that. Yeah, so 5 straight made cuts, a 23rd, a 2nd, a 41st, an 18th, a 3rd. So 4 of the 5 years, top 23 or better, 2 top 5s. 3rd at the Valero, played well at the match play. I just think he could have a really good week this week. Didn't play the Masters, so if you want to, take that as a positive, I'm sure he'd like to have been there, but he could be really chalky because of that price. I think he is priced well and playing well, that he's worth a strong look. We just have to see which chalk we want to get off of and which ones we want to eat. 6K range, Ben Griffin. I'll go back to him. He's never played here, but I'll continue to display his talent and upside there at that price, $6,900. 35th at TPC, 45th at Valspar. 3rd and good approach. I mean, he's got the upside there, and he can putt. He can get the rock rolling if he needs to. At that price, I've seen a few reasons to play him. Buckley, I'll go to him, $6,800. 10th at Valero, missed the cut. TPC has never played here, which not necessarily a negative, but stat wise, he ranks out pretty well. 6th in good drive, 9th in good approach. 30th in opportunities, 30th in par 4 DK scoring. $6,800. I'll take a chance on Buckley. Brandon Wu, similar, talent, upside, pedigree type stuff. Those guys down here, I like taking chances on them, and especially in an event like this. We've seen him flash, 19th at TPC, 58th at Valero. Hasn't played here, obviously. 10th in good approach, 36th in opportunities inside 18 feet. Just overall, I'll take a chance on people like that, and I don't think they get too high owned. Damon will be an interesting one. Doesn't come in with the greatest form, 60th, 61st at TPC and Valspar, but 69 seems like a really cheap price for him when he's got, a 16th, a 48th, and a 12th here. So never missed a cut, 2 top 20s. He's not the best form, but he's not horrible. And so I like enough about him and at that price. I wonder if that'll be a picked up thing in the industry or if he gets talked up. I definitely don't want to eat chalk down in the 6Ks this week, but I only have him there just because of that. A little more deep diving on my part with him tonight, but I don't mind Damon at all at 6,900. Fade for me right now will probably be Spieth. I don't know who's all going to do press conferences. I'd love to hear thoughts from like Rahm and Scheffler and Spieth and those guys on preparation coming off the Masters. Spieth has already kind of said how worn out he is. Defending champ, coming in with amazing form, obviously 19th, 3rd, and 4th. Great Sunday by him playing with Phil. But before that, he hadn't played. He only played twice since 2017 before winning last year, and it was a 54th and a 68. So now he's playing tremendous. I just up there that price, I could make it be an easy fade for me this week. Sleeper of the week for me, Svensson. I don't think he'll be highly talked up. At times he's a DFS darling, but he really hasn't been lately. 26th here last year, 13th at TPC, missed the cut at the Masters. Stats are just okay. Course fit in recent form, more of the upside there. Can get some birdies going. Just a guy that sticks out to me overall. I think he'll be way less than 5% or less. So he's a kind of a sleeper for me that I think we could take a look at. Gut feel plays for me, Taylor Moore. I'll go back there. His Sunday killed me. He was in one of my better lineups at like 2 or 3% own. He did not have a good Sunday at all. But he finished 39th. I think he was top 10 going into the round 4, though. First of Valspar, obviously, 35th at TPC. He's been playing great golf. Edmond, Oklahoma boy, so I don't mind Taylor Moore. JT Poston, really good record here. Could get a little chalky in that 7K range, but I don't mind him. He's got a 6th, an 8th, a 3rd, and a miscut. 34th at the Masters, 10th at Valspar. He was real close to being in that range for me. But there's a lot of good 7Ks this week. But I don't mind Poston as a gut feel play. Straka, not a guy I get to a lot, but he does play great here, or good here. 3 straight made cuts, a 33rd, a 59th, and a 3rd last year. 3 straight made cuts on tour, 65th, 22nd, 46th. So flashing a little bit, of upside, $7,200. He just kind of has my eye this week. Kitayama, 7,100, seems like a little bit of a misprice. Same with Moore. They're both winners here in the last month or so. Kitayama obviously at API. 2 missed cuts at TPC in the Masters, though, so maybe that's bringing it down a little bit. 14th in par 4 DK scoring, 27th in opportunities inside 18 feet, 31st in birdie or better. Just all things I like about him. And we've seen him get a little wayward with the driver, so maybe a club down spot's good for him. And at that price, I certainly don't mind having some of him. Betting top 5 that pop and 2 long shots for me this week. Link is in the description. Dollar for dollar match on either Underdog or Prize Picks or both. Use the code GUP, G-U-P. That would get you your match. I'll have my Prize Picks out for round 1 tomorrow, and then nightly, assuming we have a normal tournament. We'll get those out. Underdog has a bunch of best ball stuff up. NBA playoff best balls will be going. NHL playoffs will be going. They'll have some stuff for NFL with the draft being around. They have their daily golf stuff on Thursday. It's always a good contest. It's fairly cheap to get in, and you can really take advantage of those as well. Hopefully you got into a bunch of the majors ones. I'm sure they'll have some more stuff as we get closer to the next major. Top 5 that I like: Hatton 40-1, Fowler 70-80, depends on where you look. Fleetwood, same range, 70-80. Young 20-1, Kuchar 50-1. 2 long shots, I like Taylor Moore 125-1, Kitayama 125-1. My preliminary top 5 for one and done: Young, Hatton, Sungjae, Homa, and Morikawa. I don't play Morikawa, Homa a lot, and so this may be a place that I don't mind it because these prize pools are as big as most majors, sometimes bigger. So, maybe this spot I get a little different. If I was getting really sneaky, I have one that I've just done horrible in. I think I have 3 one and dones altogether. Like I may play like a Cam Davis, $7,100. Could he win this? Sure. Will anybody have him? Not much, and they could really boost up a really bad one if you got that going. It's a little risky, but something to think about. I think we'll be doing E9 with Kenny tomorrow. Try to do that around 6:30 or so Eastern time. We'll update that as we get closer. Don't forget you can use Smash 20% off. Oh, nope, sorry. Use Masters today. That'll let that roll through today. 30% off. That'll get you into that drawing for the PGA Championship stuff, and I'll give those away next week. Appreciate everything. Sorry to get this out late this week. Just been nonstop day and night for me. But looking forward to the week again. We'll have some final thoughts out and everything out tomorrow. Have a good rest of your Tuesday.